is actually about a conversation I had yesterday with one of the ladies about her wanting to reduce her alcohol intake. Now, there's nothing wrong with having some alcohol. In fact, if you consider the psychosocial aspects of food, eating, it might even be healthy and beneficial. But if you want to reduce it, that's a difference, because it's you wanting to do it rather than being told you can't have that. And that's a huge difference, by the way. So, context to this, I'm not saying you can't have it and you shouldn't have it. It's just if you want to do it, it might be worth considering your approach to do that. So, she wants to reduce it because even though she finds it helps her wind down on an evening, and it signals the end of the day, and it helps her relax and makes her feel good at the time, the next day she notices she's had poor sleep, she doesn't feel as good, she doesn't have as much energy, she doesn't get as much done, and she ends up craving different foods and actually making worse decisions with her food habits. So she makes worse decisions with her food habits, which makes her feel sluggish, and as a result of that, when your energy's low, you seek different foods, you seek different snacks, and it's an ongoing cycle. So she said that then makes her not fit her clothes as well, weight's different, etc., and she's not hitting her goals. Now, going into this, she then kind of goes through, well, should I just cut it out? Because I just feel like I'm just going to cut it out. And what we went through is she's tried that before, and it just makes her crave it more, and it didn't really work. So what we went through is, number one, consider this. She said that when she exercises, she doesn't need to have the alcohol, and she doesn't feel like she needs to have it or wants it. She feels like she's relaxed already just from doing the exercise and being out, almost being busy. Now, my point with this is whatever habit you're trying to change, whether it's comfort eating, whether it's trying to reduce alcohol intake, you can't just expect to stop doing something and then just beat yourself up for still doing it, just like that. Because when you focus on what you can't do, you almost get that. You'll focus more on what you can't do. So, something to consider here is a pattern interrupt. So a pattern interrupt is changing the habit that you already have in your head, in your brain, aka end the day, have 1. So Y equals do X. Stressful day, hit the 1. Stressful day, hit the chocolate. And it's no wonder that it becomes like a must do, because we're always in a bad situation as such when we do it. So considering that, instead of saying I won't do that, how can you say, well, I will do X instead? So for example, what we've looked at is 1, structuring in an exercise session 3 times a week. So right there, that's 3 days a week where she doesn't even come to her mind to do it because she's out in the evening. Number 2 is not going, I'm going to cut it out. She's going to give herself 100% permission to have it when she wants. Similar with the comfort foods, if you like, or the trigger foods that she tried to cut out before. So giving herself 100% permission to eat the foods that she wants to eat. And that, even in itself, just changes that relationship with food. But on top of that, busy around here. On top of that, she's not just going to go straight in with that 7-day cut it out. She's just looking at, even if she reduces it by 1 day, that's still progress, because ultimately we've got to look at it from a macro perspective here. The moment you go into the mindset of cutting something out, can't have this, you want it more. The moment you go, I can't have this, it becomes you look for the deadline. So the deadline is in, I'll do this for a certain amount of time, then I'll feel better, then it will be easier, then I can stop, and then what? Then we go back into the old habits. So looking at, number 1, pattern interrupt. What can you do instead? Read a book, go to an exercise session, have a bath, whatever it is, do something that makes you feel good, because ultimately if you think about it, if she had the wine, these are her words, I had the wine to feel good, wind down at the end of the day, but yet when I exercise I don't need to do that because maybe I've got the endorphins going, something's filling the gap there, so maybe it's actually to feel good. So I hope that helped. Any questions, do let me know, and speak soon.